Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is guide for round 1 of the Nations Cup Season 2. Let's get this started. Your first braking point is going to be in between the 150 and the 100 meter mark. Start to brake on the track first, then move over to the curb on the right. You want to wait until the car is already pointing where you want to go before you start to fully accelerate. This left turn can be taken at full throttle, just bring yourself to the inside of the turn, and then you want to brake before you reach the ambulance that is on the right. Brake hard for a short while, slowly ease off of the brakes, let the car do the rotation before you get on the throttle. Bring yourself to the left and brake as you reach the red and white barriers on the left. Just bring yourself to the inside of the turn, do a little throttle control. You want to get the timing just right so you can get a fast exit and land on the curbs. Then bring yourself to the left side of the track after this turn. Look for the green crane that is on the left and you want to brake before you pass it. Brake on the tarmac, slowly bring yourself to the curbs. Try not to get too aggressive on the apex as there's a little dip and that can bring you to the gravel. Then brake before the curb on the right ends, just a little bit of braking, a lot of throttle control. When the curb on the right ends, that is when you turn in, lift off of the throttle for a bit, slowly accelerate, do not touch the grass. Finally, you want to start to brake before you reach the signs that are on the right. Brake hard for a short moment, slowly ease off of the brakes, and then you want to be a little careful through here. Do not bring the left wheels onto the blue area or the grass, as that will get you an off-track penalty. Just stay on the red and white curbs and you will be okay. But that is all for the lap guide. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about the strategies. So for this qualifying session, you only have 5 minutes to try to get a good qualifying time, and this 5-minute qualifier is going to apply to most, if not all, races for both the Nations and the Manufacturer Series. So you're not going to have much time to get yourself situated. You just want to try to get within the slipstream range of the car ahead of you if possible, and just try to get a couple clean laps. You're only going to have 2 to 3 chances to try to get that best qualifying time. And with the tire wear being pretty high, you want your first qualifying lap, that is, you want that to be your best lap, because on your second and third qualifying laps, your tire wear is going to slowly start showing itself, so you're going to have less and less of a chance to get that perfect qualifying time that you want. And also, when you're starting your first qualifying lap, make sure you get the final turn right, as that's going to be pretty important to try to get a good exit speed onto the main straight. You also just want to try to be as precise as possible, because making small mistakes in this car will cost you quite a bit of time. So skip on over to the very end of the qualifying session. If you're able to start in the front of the pit lane and exit out first, it is possible to get 3 chances to try to get a good qualifying time, but for most of us, we'll only get 2, so you better make those chances count. So to quickly summarize this, make your chances count. You only get 2 to 3 chances to get a good time. And take advantage of the slipstream, especially for the main straight. So now let's talk about the race strategies. But before I do, this is a grid start. 7 out of 8 of these races, the Nations races, will be a grid start, so things are going to be a little chaotic. And because of this grid start and because we're all using the same car, things are going to be pretty chaotic for a long time. So there's going to be a lot of fighting going on, and yeah, so just get ready for that. Get ready to defend your position or to make a move on someone if possible. And just be careful as you go through the first turn. Know where you need to brake. In this case, I braked just a little early, but yeah, you just want to be careful. Be aware of who is around you. Bring your brake balance all the way to the rear of the car, because this car is front heavy and it's a 4-wheel drive, so the front tires will be wearing out fast. And yeah, so as you see right here, we're on lap 2. We're all fighting it out. It's a 4-car battle, and there's going to be a 5th car joining on in a bit. So you just want to try to be careful. Just get ready for a bunch of shenanigans to happen. Also, try not to clip the grass because this car does not like clipping the grass. The only exception is on turn 1 and the final turns where you can clip a bit of the grass. Everywhere else, do not do it because this car will try to kill you for that. And in a bit, we're actually going to see that happen. And yeah, right here, this is a great place to do an overtake, the main straight. The back straight is another good place to try to get an overtake done. Everywhere else, I wouldn't suggest it unless if an opportunity presents itself and you can quickly get by. So this part right here, do not clip the grass or the gravel because as you see here, I clipped it and that ended up having me spin out. But I just wanted to show you that, and let's quickly talk about the pit strategies. So for this race, it's pretty much going to be coming down to a 1-stop and a 0-stop. With the 1-stop, you pretty much pit at lap 6 or 7. That is your pit window. And the thing is that the tire wear is pretty high. And if you're really harsh on your tires, then yeah, you're going to want to go with the 1-stop. But the thing is that the 1-stop costs you quite a bit of time. You're losing around 9 seconds hanging out in the pit stop. And that's going to cost you quite a bit of time against the no-stoppers. Yes, the no-stoppers will have really bad tire wear on the later half of the race, and yes, their times will not be good, but you on the 1-stop are not going to have enough time to try to catch up to them. I did some testing with the 1-stop and the 0-stop, and I was 2 seconds faster on the 0-stop. So it's looking like that the 0-stop will be the way to go for this race, but the thing is that with those on the 0-stop, they cannot make any mistakes after the pit window ends. So after everyone has pitted, those on the 0-stop, they cannot make any errors, they cannot be in long battles, they cannot serve any penalties because each time something slows them down, that's going to get the 1-stoppers even closer to them. And if the 1-stoppers do catch up to the 0-stoppers, then those on the 0-stop are going to be in big trouble. With the extremely worn tires, they're going to have a really hard time defending their position from the people on the 1-stop who will have better tires. So if you're doing the 0-stop, make sure you take care of your tires and try not to make any mistakes and don't end up in long battles. Speaking of the 0-stop, this is actually what I'm doing right now in this run. And one of the most important things is to make sure you're not scrubbing your tires. Your front right tire is going to be the one that is going to be taking the most wear. So whenever you're making a left turn, try not to engage the steering lock. So if you see that dot above the shift bar, try not to have it go all the way to one side, because at that point you're pretty much scrubbing your tires, and that's going to contribute to the fast tire wear. The exception is going to be on low speed corners, so the hairpins, because obviously you have to turn all the way to get this understeery car to turn. So we're on lap 11 and the tire wear is really kicking in. I also had to get around the AI cars, so my time slowed down a bit because of that. But the car is still drivable. You just need to make sure you are taking really good care of your tires. Try not to overdrive the car, because if you start to overdrive it, the tire wear will start to speed up, and at the very end of the race, the tire wear will be so bad that it'll feel like the car doesn't have a steering wheel at all. So at the end of the race, I still have a bit of tire wear left. The car is less drivable, but I can still drive it around. So at the end of the day, which strategy should you go with? Are you comfortable with tire management and just trying to take care of your tires? If the answer is yes, go with the 0-stop. If not, then go with the 1-stop. And I know that the 1-stop is slower than the 0-stop, but the thing is that if you feel a lot better going to the pit stop and spending a couple more laps with a fresh set of sports soft tires, then I would say just go with that. Don't make yourself way too uncomfortable and then end up having the no stop backfire on you because your tires are extremely worn out. And yeah, the zero stop, I mean, that is the fastest strategy, but it is not an easy thing to do. So if you're not up for that, then yeah, go with the one stop. If you can pull it off, then go with the zero stop. But yeah, that is pretty much it from me. So I'm going to go ahead and sign off now. And for those who celebrated, happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign off now because I have a turkey waiting for me.